Over 10,000 years ago, Atlantis was believed to be the most advanced and glorious civilization ever known to mankind. A powerful empire, governed by gods who ruled from the heights of Mount Olympus, conquered and dominated the islands of the Eurasian continent until it was swallowed by the deep sea. Since then, it has left humanity with a haunting question, one that continues to push scientists to uncover the truth behind what is considered the most dangerous natural phenomenon on Earth. Born from violent tremors deep beneath the ocean floor, it forms and grows at lightning speed, traveling at hundreds of kilometers per hour, ready to crash down and devour everything in its path. In mere moments, it can turn a vibrant modern city into a crumbling pile of ruin. The name we're talking about is the tsunami. For millions of years, our planet has suffered unimaginable destruction caused by tsunamis. Time and again, they have left behind scars so deep. They are etched into human history. And now, join us as we uncover the 7 most devastating tsunamis in the history of mankind. The 2004 tsunami disaster. The Sumatra Andaman earthquake. A tsunami is a series of giant waves created when a massive volume of ocean water is suddenly displaced on a large scale. It is often caused by underwater earthquakes, landslides, or volcanic eruptions. At exactly 1 a.m. on December 26, 2004, while the peak of Christmas week was underway, a powerful 9.3 magnitude earthquake struck near Simulu Island, off the western coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. It shook the earth by up to 10 meters, release an energy equivalent to 23,000 atomic bombs, like the one dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. This unleashed a deadly chain of tsunamis that spread across the Indian Ocean. Towering waves as high as 30 meters, 98 feet, battered the coastlines of Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, India, and even reached as far as Port Elizabeth, South Africa, thousands of kilometers from the epicenter, causing tidal surges up to 1.5 meters. Banda Aceh, at the northern tip of Sumatra, was the closest to the epicenter. Within just 20 minutes, waves traveling at over 800 km/h, 500 mph, struck the region. Hundreds of villages were wiped out. 170,000 people, including 1/3 children, perished. Homes, trees, vehicles, everything was swallowed by black water. By 1:30 a.m., the tsunami reached the coastal provinces of Phang Nga and Phuket in Thailand. Due to a lack of awareness, many locals and even children went to the shoreline to collect marine creatures and floating objects. Tourists playfully chased the waves, completely unaware that death was moments away. The waves that hit the land of golden temples claimed the lives of 5,000 people. An hour later, waves crashed into the southeastern coast of India, near the city of Chennai, dragging debris inland and killing over 10,000 people, primarily women and children. Sri Lanka was among the hardest hit areas. 30,000 people were swept away, and hundreds of thousands were left homeless. The waves struck in multiple phases throughout the day, killing more than 50,000 people, bringing the total disaster death toll to nearly 230,000, including 9,000 European tourists. An estimated 14,100 people went missing, and over 1.1 million were displaced, leaving behind immense economic, environmental, health, and social consequences. Total damages were estimated at $10 billion USD, making this the deadliest and most devastating tsunami in human history. Japan's 2011 triple disaster. When nature struck with relentless force, it's no coincidence that the international term tsunami originated from Japan. Throughout its history of development, The nation has endured countless acts of wrath from Mother Nature, with the most catastrophic of them all being the 2011 triple disaster. At exactly 2:46 p.m. local time on March 11, 2011, a powerful 9.1 magnitude earthquake struck off the northeastern coast of Japan, with an epicenter approximately 29 kilometers beneath the seafloor. It was the strongest earthquake ever recorded in the country's history. Its force was so immense that it shifted the Earth's axis by about 25 centimeters, altering the planet's physical balance. This shift slightly increased the Earth's rotational speed, shortening each day by 1.8 microseconds. That wasn't all. The massive island of Honshu moved 5 meters eastward, bringing Japan even closer to the United States. Within moments, once modern cities were reduced to rubble. And this was just the beginning. Soon after, the sudden rupture of the Pacific tectonic plate generated a sequence of deadly tsunami waves with unimaginable destructive power. Waves reaching 38 meters, 125 feet in height, traveled at 700 km/h, 435 mph, leveling almost every coastal town in their path and penetrating up to 10 kilometers inland, flooding an estimated area of 561 km². Massive fires broke out. The Sendai airport was submerged, with aircraft swallowed by the rising water, turning the entire airfield into a debris field. That moment seemed to crush the resilience of the Japanese people. But the waves didn't stop there. The tsunami swept across the Pacific Ocean, hitting the entire west coast of the Americas, from Alaska to Chile. Waves up to 3.6 meters struck Hawaii, and 5-meter waves battered Shima Island. Even a massive ice shelf in Antarctica was shaken by the force. Back in Japan, the surging waves overpowered seawalls, toppled buildings, and ravaged critical infrastructure. Among the most devastating consequences was the series of explosions at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in Okuma. This marked Japan's darkest hour since World War II. The tsunami destroyed the power systems, plunging the facility into a station blackout, a complete loss of electricity. With no power, the nuclear reactor cooling systems failed, and core temperatures soared to thousands of degrees Celsius. 4 consecutive explosions occurred in reactor units 1 through 4, killing several workers. Enormous amounts of radioactive material, including isotopes cesium-134 and cesium-137, leaked into the air and water. Authorities were forced to urgently evacuate 154,000 residents who lived in makeshift shelters for months. The nation faced economic collapse and ecological devastation. Radioactive contamination became a national emergency. According to official reports, the 2011 triple disaster claimed 15,193 lives, injured 6,152 people, and left 2,572 missing across 18 prefectures. More than 125,000 homes were damaged or completely destroyed. The economic loss reached an astonishing $235 billion USD, making it the most expensive natural disaster in human history, the tallest tsunami in recorded history. Alaska's 1958 nightmare. On the night of July 9, 1958, a powerful earthquake, measuring between 7.7 and 8.3 on the Richter scale, struck the northeastern edge of Lituya Bay, a narrow fjord along the southern coast of Alaska. The quake occurred along the Fairweather Fault, dislodging over 40 million cubic meters of rock and debris from a height of 914 meters, 3,000 feet, down into Gilbert Inlet. A portion of the falling mass hit a glacier, triggering the formation of a giant wave over 30 meters, 100 feet, high, which slammed into the southwest shore. The wave didn't stop. It surged down the entire length of Lituya Bay, swept through Latouche Speed, and charged straight into Alaska's Gulf. The combined effect of the quake, aftershocks, and landslides caused the wave to reach an unimaginable height of 524 meters, 1,720 feet, the tallest tsunami ever recorded on Earth. The roar from the impact could be heard from more than 80 kilometers, 50 miles away. At that terrifying height, the wall of water could have swallowed the Empire State Building, which stands at 443 meters, 1,454 feet, tall. Millions of trees along both shores were ripped out by the roots and swept away like matchsticks. That night, several fishermen were scattered across the bay. The monstrous wave dragged 2 fishermen and their boat out to sea, never to be seen again. Another fishing boat, piloted by Howard Ulrich and carrying his 7-year-old son, was also struck by the tsunami. Incredibly, Ulrich managed to steer the boat up the face of the wave, and both he and his son survived. Their survival story is now considered one of the most astonishing in maritime history. Fortunately, the event occurred in a sparsely populated area, which limited the human toll. But it served as a powerful warning from Mother Nature, a demonstration of the catastrophic force a tsunami could unleash under the right conditions. It's chilling to imagine what would have happened had such a wave struck a major U.S. city. If the Lituya Bay tsunami had reached New York, even its skyscrapers might have been swallowed by the sea. The 1960 Chilean tsunami, the most powerful earthquake ever recorded. Over 60 years ago, on May 22, 1960, the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in human history, 9.5 magnitude, struck off the southern coast of Chile. The earthquake unleashed a series of massive tsunami waves, some reaching 25 meters, 82 feet, in height. These waves devastated southern Chile, destroying countless coastal communities. The historic Valdivia fortresses, built during the Spanish colonial era, were completely leveled. Buildings collapsed, streets flooded, and the chaos spread rapidly. Thousands of people lost their lives, and over 2 million were left homeless. But the destruction didn't end there. The tsunami raced across the Pacific Ocean at astonishing speeds, reaching the Hawaiian Islands, where it claimed 61 lives and caused $23.5 million USD in damages. 53 countries were immediately placed on high alert. Even regions located 10,000 kilometers, over 6,200 miles, from the epicenter, such as Japan and the Philippines, reported waves over 10 meters, 33 feet high. On May 23, Japan reported 142 deaths and over 1,600 damaged buildings. Other nations, including China, New Zealand, and Australia, also endured significant destruction as the waves crashed ashore. Various sources have estimated the total number of deaths caused by the 1960 Chilean earthquake and tsunami to be up to 7,000 people. Economic damages were estimated to be between $3 and $7 billion USD, a staggering loss, especially for the mid-20th century. This was not only the strongest earthquake ever recorded by modern seismographs, but also one of the most far-reaching tsunamis in human history, affecting countries and coastlines across the entire Pacific Basin. The 2018 Indonesia tsunami, a modern-day tragedy. At 3:00 p.m. on September 28, 2018, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck the cities of Donggala and Palu, located in central Sulawesi, Indonesia. 2 hours later, another powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit just 70 kilometers from Palu's capital, triggering violent geological tremors. Power and communication systems immediately collapsed, and tremors were felt throughout nearby provinces, even as far as Malaysia. Tsunami warnings were sent across the Makassar Strait, including government text alerts. Just 20 minutes later, a localized tsunami more than 2 meters, 6.5 feet high, slammed into Palu, surging 500 meters inland, sweeping away homes and buildings along the shore. At that very moment, along a 3.8-kilometer, 2.4-mile stretch of coast, from Wina Hotel to Talise Beach, hundreds of people were gathered for a ceremony celebrating the 40th anniversary of the city, including paragliding performances. Even after the initial quake, the festival continued. People strolled and played on the beach, completely unaware that deadly waves were just moments away. Due to the area's geography, sitting at the end of a narrow bay, the tsunami's force intensified rapidly as water funneled inward. In some places, wave heights were measured at 5 to 6 meters, 16 to 20 feet, traveling at speeds of up to 500 km/h, 310 mph. Over 70,000 homes were damaged, leaving tens of thousands homeless. A hospital and a major shopping center collapsed, trapping hundreds of people beneath the debris. More than 3,000 schools and hundreds of thousands of students were affected. Many areas were declared in need of at least a year of reconstruction. Over 20 mosques were either damaged or completely submerged. During one evening prayer session at Baitur Rahman Mosque, more than 300 worshippers lost their lives. Mutiara Airport sustained heavy damage with a 500-meter crack along the runway. The control tower and communications systems were destroyed. One air traffic controller tragically died while helping a plane take off safely during the quake. At a local prison, more than 100 inmates escaped during the chaos following the disaster. The twin disaster in Indonesia claimed the lives of 4,140 people, injured 23,000, and left thousands more missing. The total economic damage was estimated at 18 trillion Indonesian rupiah. This modern catastrophe served as a tragic reminder, even in the 21st century, with satellites, alerts, and infrastructure, nature still holds the upper hand when it strikes without mercy. The 1755 Lisbon disaster, Europe's Day of Terror. On the morning of November 1st, 1755, tens of thousands of people from across Portugal gathered in Lisbon to celebrate All Saints' Day. At that very moment, a massive seismic shift occurred off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, near the southwestern edge of the Iberian Peninsula. A violent earthquake struck with terrifying intensity, shaking Portugal, Morocco, and Spain. A deafening roar rose from the Earth's core. Gigantic fissures, some up to 4.5 meters, 15 feet wide, tore through the heart of Lisbon. At the time of the quake, most citizens were worshipping inside Lisbon's grand cathedrals and churches. Within minutes, these majestic structures crumbled into rubble. The entire Lisbon harbor and the Cais da Pedra district, built with marble along the Tagus River, sank into the riverbed, burying hundreds of people who had sought refuge there. In a chilling twist of instinct, animals sensed the oncoming disaster long before humans. Many fled to higher ground, while people stayed behind, unaware of the true danger. Just 40 minutes after the quake, a tsunami slammed into Portugal's coastline. The speed of the surge was compared to a galloping horse, sweeping away more than 1,000 lives in an instant. When the first wave retreated, curious onlookers ventured down to the exposed seabed, many unaware that it was a deadly trap. Minutes later, two colossal waves, each between 7 and 30 meters, 98 feet high, crashed ashore, dragging thousands more to their deaths. About 85% of Lisbon's buildings were destroyed, including the Royal Palace, national libraries, and secret government archives. But the devastation didn't stop there. The waves radiated out, battering Spain, North Africa, Ireland, and England. They crossed the Atlantic, reaching the Caribbean, where streets in Barbados were flooded by the sea. The 1755 Lisbon earthquake and tsunami became one of the deadliest and most destructive natural disasters in European history. It is believed to have killed 1/3 of Lisbon's population. Estimates of the death toll range from 60,000 to 100,000 people, not including hundreds of thousands left injured or homeless across the region. The 1998 Papua New Guinea tsunami, a sudden tragedy from the deep. On July 17, 1998, two consecutive earthquakes measuring 7.0 magnitude struck off the coast of Papua New Guinea, a nation located along the volatile Pacific Ring of Fire. For locals, earthquakes were a regular occurrence. But this time, something far more terrifying followed. Just after the tremors, a massive underwater sediment landslide, spanning more than 1 square kilometer, 0.4 sq miles, plunged to the ocean floor, triggering a towering tsunami. The resulting waves, between 10 to 15 meters, 33 to 49 feet high, surged across 30 kilometers, 19 miles of northern coastline. As the ocean roared with growing fury, villagers noticed bizarre bubbling and foaming in the water. Many rushed toward the beach to watch, completely unaware that death was racing toward them. Within minutes, a colossal wall of water thundered ashore. People tried to flee, but it was too late. Nature's fury was unstoppable. 3 massive waves struck in succession, obliterating all 7 villages along the coast, wiping out homes, families, and entire communities. Buildings and structures were ripped from their foundations, some flung over 50 meters, 165 feet, inland. The official toll was heartbreaking. 2,100 people killed, 1,000 injured, 12,000 left homeless, over 500 never found. What made this disaster especially tragic was the complete lack of warning and limited community awareness of localized tsunami threats. No alert systems were in place. People had no time to prepare, no chance to react. The 1998 Papua New Guinea tsunami served as a harsh reminder to the world that even small local quakes can unleash cataclysmic tsunamis. Nature doesn't always send a warning. It just strikes. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Your support means the world to us. See you in the next one.